everybody. I'm Sylvie.
Hi everyone, I'm Fabi. How are you guys? I hope you having a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever time zone you're in. Welcome back to our Shush Let's Talk Season 1, Episode 8. We got it right today.
Yes.
Um, so welcome back, and we are so excited to be with you guys. I don't know why it feels so long ago that we
I know,
that
right?
we were with you guys. I don't know, but welcome to all of our babies,
Mhm.
and tell us in the comments this question before we get into our subject. Let us know what have you noticed that's different. They are let's do, you know how everybody's doing like Elf on the Shelf? Let's do Babies on the Shelf. There's at least I could see three things that are different with how we usually film, right? Record. So let us know what you've noticed different
Mhm.
in the comments, what you've noticed different. So let's get right into it, Zoe.
Yes, let's get right into it. So, from the last episode, we are going to pick up where we left off, right? We're still talking about this dating thing, long distance dating, right? We talked about that, long distance dating, you know, and of course, we always give homework. I mean, at least I always give homework. There's always a question somewhere along the line that we choose as homework. So let's jump right into it. Let's not waste any more time. What has been going on with you in this topic that we dive in, which is dating long distance, right? Um, my cousin, favorite cousin, always liked to ask me question, type of question that we call get to know questions. Um, I'm hoping that she got one that will challenge my mind a little bit. Because last time she asked me an easy question about lottery. If you win the lotto, what would you do? I felt like it was so
But it
easy.
made you think though, because at first it almost like you're expecting a certain answer, and I think we both kind of was on the same page. That was like, well, we're calling each other and we're going on a trip. Like, yes,
Yep.
good, and we get chance to plan things around to see what we have to do, right?
Correct.
So my getting to know question, for us actually, just in general, I kind of kept it in the same kind of dating line, but like the first one is, do you find differences or similarities when you're dating someone, like in the talking stage? What's some of the things that you look out for?
Well, I know as far as dating, differences, similarities, what I tend to do, and I know that probably most of us doing, if not all of us, time to time, is that we are comparing the ex with the new boo. That is bad, 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 bad.
Ding, ding, I need my bell because
Yes,
listen.
the bell. I need to order this. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, that is bad. When I say bad, I mean that you don't want to do that because you want to remain objective, and it tends to be difficult to do that, right? So you have the new boo, but then you can't help yourself to compare the two, the ex and the new boo, similarities and differences that they have, and not understanding that okay, those are two different individuals. Yes, there may be things that will be similar in the way in which they do it, but again, it's two different individual, and you don't want to project, right? Because sometimes when you're getting over the ex, you don't want to project too much of those feelings onto the new boo. And then the new boo is looking at you like, what's wrong with her? Next thing you know, il est parti. Gone. Gone. He's not
You're like,
staying. Or
okay, I
her.
never say you couldn't come with these baggages, but that's too much. That's too much. And I agree, and you hit it right on the nail. And that's why I was like, I need my bell, because that's exactly what I was going to say. A lot of the times, I think, okay, I'm going to be 100% honest.
Mhm.
I think I look for similarities, and then when I'm really falling for you, I look for the differences.
Mm.
Or it could be the other way around. Actually, no, 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 no. Scratch that. Scratch that. I think I really look for the differences. I guess it all depends on what that meet and greet was. To kind of be like, okay, is this gonna work? This is not gonna work. And then you start to find more things that you have in common with people. I guess it depends on the person. I don't think there's a straight answer, to be honest with you. Fabius, let us know, like, what do you do? Do you find that based on your dating history that at the early stage that you guys were looking for similarities to be like, oh, we have a lot in common, or were you looking at differences first? And it's gonna lead me to my next question because I find that similarities are okay. So I guess the next question would be, do you prefer similarities or do you prefer differences?
No, if it's your ex, it gotta be you prefer differences. I don't want the I
Right?
don't want
No,
I
no,
don't
but
want the
in
old.
regards to not compared to your ex, more or less on yourself. So do you find that you guys have a lot in common, or do you look for the fact that you guys may not have so much in common and you're welcome to introduce this person to your world, or you're welcome to be like you're being introduced to their worlds because there's a lot that you guys don't have in common. I
I
don't
think it
know.
should be a little bit of both. I think that it's always nice to meet somebody and see that you have things in common because then it could start the foundation where the baseline
Mhm.
where, oh wow, you like this, I like this. So that's great. We could start from there. And then as we get together and we get to know each other, spending time together, then we could tackle the differences. Okay, so this is how you like this, and this is how I like that. It does that mean that we cannot find a common ground or we cannot work together? No, not necessarily. But those are differences that we need to pay attention to because again, that we have to talk about the topic of boundaries, right? Remember, that's something that we have to tackle also as well. And when you have differences, you want to make sure that some way, somehow, shape, or form, those boundaries also are not crossed, right? Because it's
Yeah.
easy to just go left, and then next minute, um, where's my phone? Nobody calling me anymore. So yeah, so I
No,
think
I agree. And that's why I asked, like, to be honest, I would, okay, so here's the thing. I agree we need both, but for me, I think the similarities should be in the essentials. So, guys, like, you know how we talked about the essentials and what's on your list,
yeah,
like the hygiene, like I
yeah.
love God, like those are essential similarities I would look forward to. I'm not looking for a person that's saying, okay, well, God, yeah, that's not really my thing. And then for me to be like, okay, that's a difference. I love Jesus. No. So I think my similarities may have to be in my essential. So yes, you shower. Yes, you take care of
Thank
yourself.
God.
So things like that, I think it's a must have, but also, like common similarity that's common sense, right? But then the differences could be in the hobby, and I'm okay with that. It can't be
Okay.
too far off where it's like Sunday football. Like, obviously, I'm not going to plan anything as of 1 o'clock on a Sunday till late evening. I'm not going to expect the time because that's your moment. And that way I get to watch all my chick flicks, I get to read, I get to catch up on whatever it is that I need to do. That's my moment. And close to playoff and Super Bowl, I may join you for one of those games to kind of like enter your world. Even though I get to know everything about that happened to the game, I hear the screaming, I hear all that. But it's like, you have your man cave. You do your stuff. You eat, take a break. I will schedule our supper, our lunch around your halftime. So I'm considerate like that, right? But outside of that, it's like, no, I know that's what you like. I don't care for the football game. Like I'll watch Super Bowl because it's a major event, but nonetheless, I'm not going to be like, oh, Sunday football, Monday night football, Thursday night football. No, 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 no. Basketball, on the other hand, I love basketball, right?
Mm.
So things like that, it helps me to match. Like he loves scary movie. I'm straight action and, chick flicks. But those are okay. And I look forward to that. And, like, are you adventurous? I may not be, so it might make me want to be a little risk taking because I'm with you. I might feel safer. So things like that. But in regards to like complete differences, where, like I said, the essential things, no, that I don't think I'm ready for not, no, that's not me. So as we go into, so it goes into the next question. It says, where did it go? So when and where do you feel most like your real self? So in dating, when do you feel like your real self?
Wow, that's a good question, actually. When do you feel the most your real self?
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, I okay. I want to say from the minute that you meet somebody, you would want to feel your real self. I'm just saying, from the moment that you meet that person and that you go on that first date, you would want, entre guillemets, in quotes, you would want to feel your most self. However, I know that it's not entirely true. Some people might be like, well, I don't never have that problem. And, first day I go on a date, I'm entirely myself. But then think about that question again, because that's a good question. You think about it again and go back and think of that first date that you had with somebody. And for me, myself, I am myself, but I don't think that I open up to that person first date
Yeah.
to show myself entirely. Does that make sense? Meaning that
That
yes, I am
I couldn't
myself,
agree. I couldn't
right?
word it any better.
Right. So I am myself entirely. I am Sylvie. However, me dating you and this is our first date, it's you're not going to see that entirely, right? You kind of reserve a little bit of yourself and mix and match with the person's mood and the energy and vibing, how you vibing. Because if I go on the first date and I go straight up, hey, like all the energy that I have, people will be like, okay, she's really hyper, not understanding that this is how I am. Like, I'm energetic. It's like you tend to reserve some of that to yourself until the person really get to know you and say, oh, okay, that's her, that's Sylvie. Forget about it, that's how she is, right? So I think that would be my answer to that. I am myself, but I tend to reserve first date, second date, and see how it goes as far as vibe, so that I could open up more and let all of the myself be shown to the world and to my date and whatever else.
You know what? I don't even know if I should even comment on that because you hit it on the nail. I feel like you are yourself, obviously. You're not going to fake who you are, but there's a reservation on there too. And it's almost like, I won't even say a book, but it's almost like every day as you get to know the person and the person's earning or gaining your trust first, vice versa, you're starting to peel that, string of one piece at a time, and I agree, and there's a lot of layers, and I still don't think that you've come, even when you're married, you still sometimes probably don't fully reveal all of you because you're still finding yourself, you're still growing, you're still evolving, right? So I don't think you ever fully, outside of God, our creator, I don't think no one fully knows you 100%. It's like, even as parents, like, that's my child, I know my child. Yes, but your child's growing too. Like, like, I agree. I'm just gonna scratch that because I agree with exactly what you said. I think it's as you go. So it goes to the final question, and I promise, as you answer, it reminded me that with the first date, I seen. You know what? I'm gonna save it for our question of the day, intertwined with our question of the day, because I have to ask you that question, Sylvia, and get your feedback on it because I think your reaction will be amazing. So, nonetheless, we are going to jump right back to where we left off at. And Sylvie already gave you the intro. We talked about long distance, but also we're going to talk about just in relationship in general, how to take it, right? So, the first couple of ones that we spoke about last time. The number one, if you guys remember, is intimacy, right? So we our last episode spoke a lot about intimacy and what it meant, not just in terms of the physical aspect, just connecting, which left us to go into the question. If you guys remember, your homework question was in regards to what would you do? Would you stay with a person if that connection was not there?
Correct.
So, going into the second one, we talked about boundaries, right? The relationship boundaries. So, one of the things that I I've been researching and looking into, it talks about relationship needs, and a lot of times, so number three is the needs of the relationship. So, I struggled a bit with that because a lot of the time we bring relationship needs towards the time that you're already fallen. We don't prioritize that need right off the get-go, right? So it says, as we talk about safety, support, honesty, and fun, right? It says that's the foundation of your connection, and that's what's going to make you bond. And when I read that, I was like, you know what? If we prioritized our needs from the beginning, it will save us a lot of heartache, a lot of heartbreak, a lot of, yeah, I'm wasting your time. I don't know, Sylvie. What do you think about that?
That's interesting. If you prioritize your need from the get-go, huh? I would
So
like,
not your need though, the relationship need. And that's why I say I struggle because we know what we want individually, right? So you're meeting a person, you know what you're looking at in a mate, you know what's your triggers, you know, things like that. But this is about the relationship. So this is why it says that as you talk to this partner and you're in the getting to know stage, you get to know that the safety, feeling safe in that relationship. And for me, this is why I say I struggled with it because I'm like, well, safety, support, honesty, and fun, that's going to come down the road. Like, I haven't even gone on a date with you. How would I prioritize that? How would I make it?
mhm,
But you have to feel that level of comfort and safety net to even want to go on a date with the person, right?
mhm.
So
Agree.
as you go on to saying, okay, I have to know these are my needs, and this should be our relationship need to know that I should always feel safe around you, that you will protect me going on a date. Like, throw out silly situations like we're out on a date and a person try to come grab my purse. What's your reaction? Like, it sounds silly, but it kind of lets you know, should I be watching my back and your back too, or am I gonna feel like no one's God? We got our protection. You get what I'm saying? But the extra level to know that this person bumps me or look at me the wrong way, you about ready to say, bruh, you good? Like, you know, like that kind of make you feel like, okay, like it's okay, I'm fine. I'd rather be the one to say calm down that you'll listen to than to feel like you hiding behind me or you ignore it. it Sylvie, you know that's facts though. There are people where the females probably, and that's not okay. That doesn't make the men weak. Some people are just not confrontational, right? Some people just like, especially if they know what they're capable of doing, they're not going to try to act big and bad. I'd rather you tell me instead of us down the line, we're in a situation and I'm like, you we can't have no kids because these kids gonna get whooped in school and you know, like no, like they're gonna get bullied. Like you have to know what that safety net looks like. And it talks about support. And the support is in all aspects, right? Like pushing my dreams, pushing like one of the things like where do you see yourself in 5 years? That's support after I tell you that respond will let me know would you be supportive of my dreams and plans? you know
Right.
how you say something, Sylvie? And it's like, you know, for example, I want to be a pilot. Like the person might be like, oh, okay, well, pilot school is that like you got to spend. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there as an example. Like, are you sure you're trying to do that right now? You already got a lot of stuff established, and you just be like, bruh, just support me. Like, I don't need all that extra stuff. I could be whatever it is at whatever age there is. Like, don't kill my dream like that. And there's some people that just like kill your dreams.
True. I think that over time, as you're dating that person, I think it will become clear to you. For me, I feel that come a certain point in your life, as far as knowledge, prior knowledge that you've gained over the years and prior experiences that you've been through over the years, you should be able to have what we call discernment, this ability to discern what is presented in front of you or who is presented in front of you as far as their attributes, their personality traits, right? What it is that if you are with dating a person and then you could kind of sense that what, it's not that we're trying to be confrontational, but if a situation were to happen, I know so and so would have my back. Like, all right, we good, but don't worry about nothing. Or, I got you, baby. Like, don't worry about anything. And it's not to say that we trying to fight everybody out here in the world. No, but it's more so that you want to feel safe in a way in which you know that the person got your back. I think that's the main thing. And I
Mhm.
think that all of those questions, sometimes you try to figure out when you could ask this question, because you see how we are getting to know each other and we ask each other's question on live with our favies. It's the same thing. Like when you're dating somebody, for example, you know how you have this one of my favorite question. Baby, if I gain weight, would you leave or would you stay with me? Oh my God. So those are like typical one question that you throw out there, and you know how sometimes you get a response like, "Really, right now? Like you asking me that? Why? Like out of nowhere, you just want to know if you were to gain weight?" And then it's like, I think that sometimes they feel like it's a tricky question. Like if I say yes and being honest, but then if I say no, she gonna think I'm lying. So I say yes, you're gonna be mad. I said no, you're gonna think I'm lying. So it's like, what do you want out of me here? Right?
Yeah.
So I like to throw out those questions out there just to see the response, right? But honestly, we don't know until we get there, right? I mean, once you get to know the person, things change. People would probably say, yes, I'm leaving in this situation. And then the situation comes and it's like they got so good as far as the relationship with you that it's like, all right, let's go to the gym, yo, let's work. Chop, chop, let's go, right? And let's
Yeah.
try to find ways to eat better and see what we could do. Because if the person really care about you, are they leaving? No, they're staying, and we try to write this thing together. So we figure it out together. So that will be my answer to that. But just favies, as you know, before we talk and talk and talk and talk, we like to take a little break in between, as we always do. So I'm going to say, Fab, we got
Yes.
to give our
Yeah.
favies a little break for a couple of seconds, and then we'll be right back. Don't go
Let's
nowhere.
do that.
Did you see me? My eyes were like this.
Oh no. What happened?
I was like looking at my phone for a second. I was like, oh. And then I'm like, okay, back from the break.
So
Hi.
to finish off the relationship needs, sometimes too, everyone won't fit that safety, support, honesty, and fun, right? Like they won't have all four. And you have to give yourself, even you may not have all four. Because you may want the support, but you're not as supportive as you want them to be, you know? And there might be something that you lack on. And when it's said that we have to start right at the beginning to set that expectation. I'm learning. I'm learning from that. And I was like, oh my goodness, like that makes a lot of sense. And it makes you think of your past relationships where you're like, Maybe if I did that, it probably would have went a different way. Probably still would end up where we are now, but probably wouldn't be wasting my time. And so it goes into saying that you have to leave room for growth for yourself
Mhm.
and growth for the relationship as well, because those needs are serious, right? And it talks about as you grow, it may need it may mean that you need your own privacy, right? You may need to do your own soul searching solo projects, right? Because a lot of times it's like when you're dating, you feel like, well, I have a partner to do everything. And no, and just an example, as you have your football, I have my reading time. I dedicate that time.
Mhm.
It's still around the same time that you're doing your thing. So when you're free, I'm then free. We could commit to each other. I'm not gonna say, well, you take all of Monday, so I'm gonna take all of Tuesday to myself or all of Sunday. Like you make it work that you spend time with each other because you don't want to be growing alone and not
Right.
together apart, right? So it includes maybe you have brunch with your girlfriends or your guys, you go watch football with your guys, whatever it is that you're helping grow your things, right? And I was doing devotion the other day and there was something that caught my attention, and it says try to always be around healthy, like in terms of married couples, right? Be with healthy marriage couples, hang out with healthy marriage couples. And it reminds me, I think a while before, a couple of episodes ago, when we talked about friends' influences in your relationships, right?
Right.
And another thing that came up was more or less on what that advice would be. Yes, sometimes it's okay to give a lot of advices, but sometimes it's hard to not look past that mirror to be like, well, mm, you know, if your group of friends are all cheaters, then I know this thing, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are or whatever. But sometimes too, what advice if you're facing would that person give you if they don't really take that commitment seriously, right? So a lot of the time it's always nice to have healthy relationships, healthy role models, or people that could mentor you, that not that you have to share your problems with, but then you kind of have to see, because everybody have their own problems, but that healthy relationship conversation, right? So you can, not saying like double date or whatever the case might be, but you get to see different things if that comes around, and family members, right? Like I do ask those questions like, hey, how long your parents been married, how long your aunts, your cousins, like just to kind of see if marriage is stuff. And sometimes they don't have a positive outlook on what marriage looks like, and they want that for themselves.
Okay, yes, I was about to say that. Just because they don't
Yes,
have that
yes,
doesn't mean that they don't want it for themselves. I think that's
exactly.
even more so of a reason why they
And
want it for themselves.
yes, yes. And then it could go both ways. So that's why I said that growing outside of the relationship, that solo finding yourself could be like, this is my purpose. And that's one of the things that made me feel a lot better after I'm like, okay, relationship needs speaking about it at the beginning. That kind of makes you, because sometimes we're in the talking stage, but we never really truly ask the question, do you see marriage in your future? Do you see kids in your future? Because you think that's like too soon. But then it's like 2, 3 months is still early on for us. So we're like, that's still too soon to ask. I don't want to push a person away. But then here you are growing feelings about every other thing, about trips, vacations. The exciting things are next date. And then
Mhm.
those real questions that are a deal breaker for you
Never.
are like, mm, they're never asked. So I think as we put those needs there, it makes it really a priority. So before we go into our question of the day, number 4 is fears. And oh my goodness, I think I kind of, the needs go right into the fears too, because it talks about, it says fears promote distance and can undermine your journey together.
Yes, I
I'm
agree.
like, who life, Like, Sylvie, as I think we spoke about that a while ago, but we didn't go more into
No.
details about
Mm,
fears of a relationship because it's like you don't want to come too strong, you don't want to come too soft, you want to be a happy medium. But
mm.
then it goes back to our question, are you revealing your true self?
Well, I mean, honestly, are you revealing your true self? That has to take time. And again, it all depends on the relationship that you are building with that individual because that individual has to make you comfortable in some shape or form, where the same goes for you have to make that individual comfortable in some shape or form, where we both can come together and communicate. Because I learned that a lot of people do not know how to communicate, and if they do know how to communicate, they don't know how to communicate well with each other. Now there's a difference. You may be able to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, right, what you're thinking and what you're feeling to others, maybe your best friend or so on. But when it's time for that person relationship where you have emotion involved, you may not be so good at expressing those two well enough for them to understand you. I realized that too, from past experiences. People don't necessarily know how to communicate well, and sometimes people avoid communicate. Why? Because they don't necessarily would like to hear what it is that they do or don't do, what needs that they meet or not meeting as far as you two are concerned. Because you used to be in a relationship for yourself, by yourself, me, myself, and I. Great. But when you come together with somebody, that's different. Now it's a pair where you are together. So it
Mhm.
had communication is key. Like, we have to talk. Whatever is going on in my mind, I need to feel that I'm freely able to tell you, you know what, so and so, or you know what, babe. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a relationship, right? Where you're involved. It could be a friendship. It could be a work situationship or a relationship, right? You want to be able to, whoever you're dealing with, you are free to tell them exactly what you think in a way in which it could be received, understood. And you know what? That's my feedback for me, Sylvie. Thank you so much. Okay, let's try action plan. Let's see where we go from there. But a lot
Mhm.
of people don't know how to communicate well with each other, especially when sex, intimacy, emotion, feelings, whatever is involved. I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me. And now it's like, how do we communicate those needs, right? Because
Mhm.
you looking to me to meet your needs, and I'm looking to you to meet my needs in turn.
Yeah.
So what do we do if we don't know how to express that well? And what you're thinking is not what you're feeling necessarily. And I think that people have a hard time distinguishing those two. They are not the same. You're thinking something that may not necessarily be what you are feeling in your heart. Two different things here. And sometimes people kind of like interchangeably use them like they both mean the same. No, 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 no. There is a distinction, whether it's a thin distinction, but it is a distinction between the two. So for me, it definitely will take time, and communication is the key so that we could express those fears, those needs, and trying to see. And the person has to have a growth mindset. You have to be able to listen to also as well and have that growth mindset where you want to be better for yourself, but also better for that person where you two are in a relationship together. If not, then go, bye, be in a relationship by yourself. Peace. There's no need for us to be together. Au revoir. À bientôt. Next, au suivant.
So, like, when they talk about fear, it's a lot of fears. And sometimes it takes a long time to get rid of those barriers, right? Whether it's like, oh my goodness, fear of you guys falling apart, right? Fear you guys of rejection, fear of not being understood, or fear of changes, fear of being alone. Like, there's fears, it's a lot. And I think as we grow and we learn about different things, not necessarily fear in general is a subject that we could talk about. That is nothing to do with the relationship because as we target all these different things, it could be something that we have a special series for that because it's big. But one of the things, like I mentioned before, is that sometimes too, it's all in our head. That fear, we make it a reality. And for us, we act on it and we act on it, and something that we have to push through for sure. It's for ourselves and for that person too. So when I saw that, it actually stuck on me. I was like, okay, yes, yes, that's something that has to be done and dealt with. So we're going into our question of the day. And guys, like I said, there's a lot of different steps, but we just did 3 and 4, right? So we have 6 remaining, and we'll try to see if we could target it in the next 9 episodes, which is perfect. So we could do 2, 2, 2, and into our next episode. So our question of the day is very easy. I always drop the bomb, but I think as we grow into finish off the relationship theory, I think it's something that I want to know, right? That's why I said I didn't want to ask you earlier. I'm gonna save our other question for our next for episode 9. So Sylvie, it's been circulating on social media, and I need to get your input on this. They said rule number 1 of dating: a lady should never finish her meal on the first date.
What? Not me. I'm
They
eating.
said rule, like, I am so serious, Sylvie. They say you should never finish, like, empty out your plate on a first date.
In
What you
what
think about
world?
that?
In what world is that? Because if we are out eating, isn't that the purpose of me finishing my meal so
You
that
have to leave something on the plate. It cannot be like you wipe the plate clean.
why? Because it looks good aesthetically? Why? Because I mean, what's the
I
purpose?
don't. Okay, so I understand, and I think done it. I've done it before, actually. I've been out and I've left food on the plate, not because I wasn't hungry. I think it's just the aesthetics of being a lady and always eat something prior to the date in case it doesn't go too well. I don't know, but I have done it. And I don't think I did it on purpose or that I knew it was a written rule. I think I just automatically do that. Just like, don't always finish all of my meal. Now you take me out, you better not waste this money. You better eat this food. Like, so
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. I'm not wasting that. But oh yeah, because I was reading comments all over Facebook and Instagram, and people are like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to finish your meal, and you should never have a to go home or to go plate on the meal."
Who
I was
says?
like,
Who says all those things, really? I mean,
"No, I don't know.
nope.
I don't know."
I could understand taking the doggy bag. That I understand. Maybe on the first date you don't. Okay, but not finishing the food. Nah, I'm eating everything. In the contrary, that's what we're here for.
So like I said, I never did it in a way where it's like, this is the rule, never finish your meal. I think I have done it before, to be honest with you, where I wouldn't finish my meal, but it could mean that I was probably full because I love food.
Me
So
too.
if I actually left something, maybe I just couldn't. Because if we were doing a dinner and a movie, I probably would have fell asleep at that movie because I'm full. Okay. So I think maybe that's why, but not because I was trying to like spare your pockets or make you feel like I don't eat. No, like I love food. I want to eat.
So what about our favies, right? Because now we come in towards the end of the episode 8. So what do you think? Because that's a good question. Question of the day, right? Do you finish your food, right? First time dating that person, you're going out on a date, restaurant, wherever you're going, and it just so happened that food is involved. And what do you do? Do you leave a little piece, right? Being a lady, right?
Mhm.
Or you finish everything because that's the purpose of eating out, right? You eat your food, you fill your belly, right? Or, you take a doggy bag home. What do you think? Have you done so? Have you done any of these? Let us know below in the comment, right? We want to share those comments with our audience, which is you guys. Let us know. Other than that, Fab, you know we coming down to the end.
I know. I love this. And as we get closer to ending our season one, let us know. And to our favies that are faithful, who's watching us live, we appreciate you. We love you. And I hope that you get a chance to continue watching us and leave in the comments whatever things that you have going on for the holidays too. So it's getting close to the holidays. So we should
And
have
wait,
another episode before then. But yeah, let us know.
and
I guess
one more thing. We ever share with our favies our email address, right? We did, right?
oh,
We need to keep
I
sharing
think
that also as well,
we did.
right? Because we also want to receive emails from you guys. Comment below. Definitely share with us your thoughts, your comments, right? Feedback also as well. We also want to make sure that we keep posting our email address, right? FabiSylvieTV@gmail.com, so that you guys can email us also as well, right? Let's spread the love. And
What is it,
definitely subscribe.
Sylvie? Is it
Subscribe.
family in the letter? Oh, there. Okay, so hold on.
Yeah, Fab is looking at it right now. Yeah. Oh
Do you see it?
no, I see something else.
Oh, wait.
There.
Sorry.
Wait.
Oh,
It
wait.
shows.
There it is. Hold on
It's
one sec. Oh,
no. That's something else.
I thought I had it on the bottom, but
It shows subscribe at the First Lady 211 TV.
okay, no, that's my.
Yes,
This is
that I
what it
knew. Yes, email FabiSylvieTV@gmail.com. Yeah, look at this
is. So it's there. Yes, it's there. That's our email, guys. If you have any questions, send us emails. We both have access to it, so we could respond to you. Let us know, what are you looking forward to season 2. Like, I know we're not there yet. We got a couple episodes to go, but let us know what some of the things that you'd like to talk about in season 2 as we prep and we start going into the holidays. But we don't like to do this, but we have to go. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, night, evening, and always, we love you. Thank you for joining us and sharing your quarantine with us. Stay safe.
Be safe out there. Enjoy the holidays too.
Bye.